Anand Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishad ki Jai. Nidai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Jai. Nidai Gaura Premanande. So before we begin, can I just have a show of hands, those who are coming here for the first time? Okay, so what we're trying to do is recite the 4 seed verses of Bhagavad Gita. So there are limited copies of Bhagavad Gita at the back available, so now is the time you can just stand up and get a book for yourself. Or Gunesh, you can get all the books and just distribute, and you can perhaps share amongst yourself. So last week when we were discussing, we were endeavoring to memorize the first seed verse of Bhagavad Gita. Basically, these are called Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, meaning the 4 verses which form the Bija mantra of the Bhagavad Gita. So it is very nice, especially since Gita Jayanti is approaching, and next week on Sunday we'll be observing Gita Jayanti over here, and all 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita will be recited. So you all are invited to participate in that. It will start around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because all 18 chapters are being recited. We're starting early, and then of course Prasadam feast will be served afterwards. So please try to clear your calendars for that day and come at 1 o'clock. And all 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, you can partake in recitation of that. Let's do Mangala Charan, and thereafter we will start the recitation. Trying to learn these 4 verses, seed verses. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhurya Evacham Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Nirmayashete yadavushu purusha Bhunte gunam shodasha shodashatmaka Solam Krisishna Bhagavan Pachantame Shri Krishna Sharanam Sharanagatam Katha Amritam Satatapivatam Bhakti Vedanta Margapandhanam Sarvaloka Rishideva Janna Prasannam Sarvaloka Rishideva Janna Prasannam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So from last week, who remembers the verse? Sing and let everyone sing. So this is chapter 10, text number 8. Aham sarvasya prabho mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam. Bhava samannita. Want to try Praveen? Praveen?
Aham sarvasya prabho.
Aham sarvasya prabho.
Sada sarvam pratyartate.
Mata sarvam pravartate.
Iti matva bhajante ma.
Iti matva bhajante ma.
Bhave samanta.
Bhava samannita. Bit later. Yeah. Aham sarvasya prabho. Mata sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. Bhava samannita. Aham sarvasya prabho. Mata sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. Bhava samannita. Aham sarvasya prabho. Mata sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. Bhava samannita. Anyone else? Yes,
Aham sarvasya prabho.
Aham sarvasya prabho.
Mata sarvam pravartate.
Mata sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. Bhava samannita. Aham sarvasya prabho. Mata sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. Bhava samannita. That's very nice. Most of you have already memorized it. That's nice. So would anyone explain what is Krishna saying here? Yes, so he's saying, I am the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. And the wise who knows this perfectly worships me with all their heart. So, this is, in a nutshell, the reason why we worship Krishna. This verse in philosophical terms is known as epistemology, meaning what a person believes in and why he believes in it and what he does after believing in it. So someone may ask, oh, why do you worship Krishna? It's very simple. Because Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that he is the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from him. And the wise who perfectly knows this worships him with all their heart. As simple as that. And this will solidify our conviction in Krishna consciousness. Why? Because this verse is spoken by Krishna himself. And therefore, this is non-different from Krishna. When we sing this verse, it is Krishna himself. And we are directly connecting with Krishna. So, therefore, it is very important that we try to learn. Like last week, I think, was someone asked the questions when we were speaking on the subject matter of satisfaction. And they asked the question, but shouldn't we be striving for more and more of things? Everyone is doing that. Well, the scriptures say that 3 things we should always be satisfied in, and 3 things we should never be satisfied in. 3 things we should always be satisfied in is whatever life partner Krishna has given us, whatever prasadam comes in our plate, and whatever wealth comes by its providence. And 3 things we should never be satisfied with. Trisu santosh na kartavya. Japa, our chanting of Hare Krishna, that we should never be satisfied with. And Swadhyaya means studying of scriptures, learning of these verses. I remember when I was in London with my Guru Maharaj, and I ventured out to get some things. And of all places, there, in a big billboard, I saw a picture of Mahatma Gandhi. And his saying was written there, learn as if you'll live forever, live as if you will die next moment. Think about it. Learn as if you live forever, live as if you'll die next moment. So I liked it quite a bit, and I wrote it. And when I went back, I showed it to Guru Maharaj. And he was very happy with it. Yes, as far as we are concerned, that means we should chant our Maha Mantra as if we'll die the next moment. Just imagine if our lifespan is only for a moment, like Katvanga Rishi, given in Srimad Bhagavatam. He asked the demigods how long he has to live. And the demigods told him, you have only a moment of lifespan remaining. And within that moment, he concentrated his heart, mind, and consciousness in Krishna and achieved perfection. So similarly, we should chant as if our life depends on it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then we should learn as if we'll live forever. So some people may say, why do you need to learn all these verses from scriptures? No, because this is connected with Krishna and it helps us remember Krishna. This is just not for a show that, oh, I know so much verses that I am able to memorize it. Actually, we may be able to memorize these verses, but if we are overtaken by pride, then what's the use? Real memory is to remember what Krishna is doing for us, how much Krishna is doing for us. There is a pastime in Ramayana that after the war was over and Lord Ramchandra, along with Sita Devi, Lakshmana, and all the Vanaras, they came back to Ayodhya. And as they were coming back, there was great celebration. And everyone in joy, they were throwing colors of kumkum, red. And when Sita Devi saw that, she started crying because she remembered something. And when Lord Ram saw Sita Devi crying, Lord Ram understood why Sita Devi is crying. And he also started shedding tears. Why? Because Sita Devi started remembering the color of red. For the first time she had seen blood was when Ravana mercilessly killed Jatayu. When Jatayu was trying to save Sita Devi being kidnapped by Ravana. And feeling a sense of gratitude, she started shedding tears. And similarly, Lord Ram started shedding tears. So actual memory is what? Actual memory is Kritajna. Kritajna. Kritajna means being grateful. And we remember these verses as a token of expressing our gratitude for Krishna. Why? Because through these verses, Krishna is making us remember Him. It is not just for some gymnastic shows that we are able to recite this. What's the point if you are able to recite these verses, but then we don't develop love for Krishna? We don't have feelings for Krishna. We are not able to do service for Krishna. Actual memory means that I'm a servant of Krishna and let me serve Krishna. And when we see other devotees doing devotional service very nicely, and we appreciate that, then that is also very, very good. It is said, two things we should always remember and two things we should always forget. Two things we should always remember is what others have done for us. And what bad things we have done to others. We should always remember that. And two things we should always forget. What bad things others have done to us. And what good things we have done to others. This can only happen if our memory bank is filled with Krishna consciousness and with Krishna's names and pastimes and these verses. Our Guru Maharaj once said, very nice verse he quoted. Please repeat. Kavya Shastra Vinodena Kalam Gacchati Dhimatam. So Kavya Shastra, these are like poetic verses from scriptures. And the intelligent person, he spends his time or her time in learning these nice poetic verses. Kavya Shastra Vinodena. And Vinodena means is pleasurable learning this. Nicely we sing and we can remember what Krishna is saying. And it's pleasurable. Vinodena means happiness, joy, pleasure. Kalam Gacchati Dhimatam. Dhimatam means intelligent persons. So intelligent persons, they spend their time learning like this. Any little time we have, our Guru Maharaj used to say, is always keep a diary with you and some small book of Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita of Prabhupada, and just start reading, and any nice points you see, just write it down in your diary. And in this way, whenever time we have, we open the diary and we try to recall that. Recalling pastimes of Krishna, attributes of Krishna, this is the engagement of the devotee. This is the engagement of devotees. So, three things we should never be satisfied with That's first one was japa, second thing was swadhyay, learning, and the third thing, dana, the charity. We should never be satisfied with the charity, the donations we give. So this is what the scriptures are saying. And this is how devotee engages. So the next seed verse, text number 9, let's look at that. So Krishna is saying here to Arjuna, Madchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Charamanti Cha Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Upayanti Te Tesham Evanukam Partham Aham Ajnanajam Tamaha Nashayam Yatma Bhavasto Jnanadipena Bhasvata. So, translation by His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, text number 9. Please repeat. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So this is the only verse in Srimad Bhagavad Gita which tells how devotees actually interact with each other. No other verse in Bhagavad Gita tells us this. So how do the devotees interact with each other? Here, let's try to learn the first line. Madchitta Madgata Prana. Let's look at word to word. Madchitta. Their minds fully engaged in me. Mad means me and chitta means minds or hearts. Madgata Pranaha. Their lives devoted to me. So Madgata means to me, Prana, lives. So devotees' lives and devotees' minds, they are both fully devoted to Krishna. Madchitta Madgata Prana. Madchitta Madgata Prana. Madchitta Madgata Prana. Yes, who is there?
Madchitta Madgata Prana.
Madchitta Madgata Prana.
Madchitta Madgata Prana.
Madchitta Madgata Prana. Yes, Nisari.
Madchitta Madgata Prana.
Madchitta Madgata Prana. Madchitta Madgata Prana. Yes, Madchitta Madgata Prana. Mataji. Madchitta Madgata Prana. Machita Madgata Prana. Machita Madgata Prana. What does Machita mean?
Their minds stay engaged.
Whose minds? Devotees. And Madgata Prana.
Their lives are devoted to me.
Yes, their lives devoted to me. So Krishna is saying this, that the devotees' mind and hearts and their lives are fully devoted to him. So when devotee remembers Krishna, Krishna never fails to remember the devotees. Our memory may fail, but Krishna's memory never fails. That yes, this devotee always is remembering me, and even there some circumstances maybe they were not able to remember Krishna, but then Krishna remembers us. It is said that in old age, when we are on our deathbed, due to circumstances, we may not be able to recall Krishna. But if our whole life we have dedicated to remembering Krishna and dedicated our lives to him, then Krishna at the end remembers us. This is mentioned in Viraja Purana, in the past time, where the demon Hiranyaksha had taken the earth planet and put it in the nether regions. Then Lord incarnated as Viraja and rescued Mother Earth and put her in the natural orbit. At that time, Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi, she prayed to Lord Krishna, and she expressed that she was so aggrieved at the miserable condition that this demon had put, that she found it very hard to remember the Lord. And how come and how will my children, mother being compassionate, now Bhumi Devi is one of the 7 mothers as given in scriptures. So she said, how will my children be able to remember you when they are inflicted with much bodily pain and they are circumstantially helpless? Then Lord Krishna promised her, if they have devoted all their lives in remembering me and dedicating to me, then even though they may not be able to remember, but I will remember them. This is the mercy of the Lord. That's why we chant, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu,
Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu,
Dina Bandhu Jagatpate,
Dina Bandhu Jagatpate.
O Krishna, you are the ocean of mercy and the friend of the fallen. Dina Bandhu Jagatpate, you are the master of the universe. So in this way, if we are inspired by these verses that Krishna is saying, yes, devote your life to me. Machita Madgata Prana.
Machita Madgata Prana.
Yes, without looking, please say.
Machita Madgata Prana.
One by one. Yes, Gunesh.
Machita Madgata Prana.
Machita Madgata Prana. Vijay.
Machita Madgata Prana.
Machita Madgata Prana.
Machita Madgata Prana.
Machita Madgata Prana. Machita Madgata Prana. Very good. Machita Madgata Prana. Susan. Machita Madgata Prana. Very nice. Machita Madgata Prana. Bodhayanta Parasparam.
Bodhayanta Parasparam.
Bodhayanta Parasparam.
Bodhayanta Parasparam.
Bodhayanta Parasparam.
Bodhayanta Parasparam.
Bodhayantaha. Preaching. Parasparam.
Parasparam.
among themselves.
Among themselves.
So the devotees amongst themselves are preaching to each other. And when we look to the translation, Prabhupada translates as they are enlightening each other. Bodhiyantaha also means that one is uplifting the other one. So as devotees sometimes, we also need it. You know, that sometimes we have low moments in our devotional life. Then our fellow devotee, they will come and uplift us. You know, if we haven't come to the temple for some time, some devotee, you know, will pick up the phone and call, Prabhu, Mataji, we haven't seen you for some time. Where have you been? Once one devotee said, you know, ISKCON is like a mafia. You can come in, but you cannot get out. So similarly, that's a good thing, isn't it? That once in, never out. And this is called Bodhiyantaha, because devotees always enliven each other. Even the sense of humor the devotees have, it is very difficult to find that sense of humor outside. I remember my Guru Maharaj, he was always laughing and making everyone laugh as well. And if I try to repeat what he would try to say, you won't laugh. My sense of humor is terrible. But Srila Prabhupada had a sense of humor. Such wonderful sense of humor Prabhupada had. Many Vaishnavas, they have this sense of humor. In this way, Bodhiyantaha, enliven, uplift, comfort. Bodhiyantaha means all these words in Sanskrit. And we all need that, isn't it? We are not persons without heart. We all need to be loved. We all need caring. And devotees, they love and care. How? By enlightening one another. But the center of the conversation of devotees is who? How do we know that? Because in the third line Krishna says so. This is called Shastra Praman. Bodhayantaha parasparam Kathayantascha mam nityam Kathayantascha mam nityam Kathayantaha, talking. Cha, also. Mam, about me. Nityam, perpetually. So perpetually the devotees are talking about Krishna. So their conversations are about Krishna. The perfect example is of the Brajavasis and Gopis. You know, when Krishna is not there, then they will meet each other and they'll start talking about Krishna. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that the Gopis would get together in groups of 2 or 3 and they would start talking about Krishna. Oh, did you see what kind of garments Krishna wore today? How he plays the flute? How he has captivated minds of everyone? How he is so mischievous? How we cannot help but remember him? How he danced on the woods of Kalya serpent? How he had lifted the Govardhan hill? All these memories the Brajvasis are keeping. And these are the memories, as devotees, we should also be able to cherish. We should be creating nice memories in Krishna consciousness. I heard one devotee once speak that Srimati Radharani has a jewel box, and every day she opens that jewel box and takes the jewels out and she shines those jewels and then puts it back in that jewel box and closes it carefully. What are the jewels in this jewel box? It is the memories of time that Krishna spent with her. Similarly, we also have memories of how we came to Krishna consciousness, how some devotee inspired us, how someone talked to us nicely and comforted us, how someone enlivened us in process of Krishna consciousness, how when we read Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, we like how the description of Krishna is given by Vyasadeva and how nicely Prabhupada explains these descriptions of Krishna. Very nicely in Srimad Bhagavatam in 10th canto, nice description of Krishna is given. Please repeat. Baraha Pidam Natavara Vapuhu Karaniyo Karanikaram. So Baraha Pidam, he has got a peacock feather on his head. We can have a look at Shri Radha Govardhan. And Krishna is Natavara Vapuhu. He is always dancing. Krishna, even his walk is like a dance. He swirls. Karaniyo Karanikaram. And on his ears, he has a bluish flower. Vipradvasa. Kanaka Kapisham. And his vasa, his dhoti, his garments are brilliantly shining like sun. Kanaka Kapisham. Vaijayantim Chamalam. And is wearing the Vaijayanti Mala. Darling of Vaijayanti Mala. Vaijayantim Chamalam. Randhan Venu. Adhara Sudhaya. And he's holding a flute, Venu, on his hands. And through his lips, he's blowing nectar into the flute. Prabhupada very nicely describes in one of the papers that, Krishna blew nectar into the flute. And Krishna has spoken Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So that flute nectar and Krishna speaking Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita is non-different from each other. It is the same nectar. Because Krishna is absolute, his speech and the sound he emanates through the flute are one and the same. So just imagine these verses that we are singing. We have the privilege to sing these verses because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. These are coming from Krishna's lips. And we can touch that through our ears, just by the sound vibration. It is said, Adhrashta Rupo Vicharasi Urusvanaha. Krishna may be invisible to our eyes, but Vicharasi, he wanders in the Urusvanaha, in the sound vibration of these Vedic mantras. Machita Madgata Prana Bhuvayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam. So the devotees, Kathayantascha Mam Nityam, they are always singing about the glories of Krishna. Kathayantascha. Mam here means what? Me. So Krishna is saying Katha about whom? Me. Katha not about Chagan Lal, Magan Lal. No, Katha about Krishna. It's called Krishna Katha. And Gopis say this, Tava Katha Amritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham So Krishna Katha, Krishna Kathamritam. So we have Namritam, the nectar of Krishna's holy name, and then we have Kathamritam, the nectar of Krishna's pastimes and Katha. Tapta Jivanam, the lives, people's life which is miserable, it extinguishes that misery. Tapta Jivanam. Kavibhiriditam, and great poets, philosophers, and wise men, they have concluded that Krishna Katha is Mangalam. Shravana Mangalam, Srimadaatatam. Shravana Mangalam means hearing about Krishna is auspicious. And glorious are those devotees who glorify Krishna and his pastimes. There is a pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam which tells that the Brahmana's wives, they were so fixed in hearing Krishna Katha every day, because the ladies who used to go from Vrindavan to Mathura selling the milk products, Brahmana's wives would ask, "Oh, please tell us about Krishna. What did Krishna do today? What pastimes did he play?" And then they would very nicely narrate. So there are questions, there are answers, there is speakers, there is listeners about Krishna Katha. And in this way, what happened, that Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, the words which describe Lord Krishna, they are the best of selected verses, it is said. Dirgha Shruta Dhritashaya. Dirgha means for a long time these Brahman wives were hearing Krishna's pastime. And therefore, Dhrita means they became very fixed in holding on to Krishna. If you want to hold on to Krishna, then we have to constantly hear his pastimes. Srila Prabhupada used to say that those devotees who do not read my books, they will very quickly fall into illusion and go far away from Krishna consciousness. Therefore, it is very, very important to constantly be in touch with Srila Prabhupada's books. Every morning at 6:30, that's why we have the morning session on Zoom of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam. And you can join those sessions. It's from 6:30 to 7. And we are in Canto 2 now. 2 years ago, we were in Canto 1. But every day, 30 or so devotees are without failure joining these classes. So it may be half an hour, but over a period of time, it will add up. Every 5 minutes adds up. Actually, Vinod Prabhu, who is the administrator of that session, he sent some statistics from the Zoom or YouTube, I can't remember. But collectively, 4,000 hours of Krishna pastime has been heard. So we may think, what will happen by just hearing, half an hour, 30 minutes. But no, Dirgha, what does Dirgha mean? Long. Dirgha Shruta Dhritashaya. For a long time, when we hear Krishna Katha, then Dhrita, then our determination will become fixed. And then we will be able to constantly remember Krishna. Remembering of Krishna is called Smaranam. So the Shravanam means hearing about Krishna. Kirtanam means singing, glorifying Krishna. And these two, Shravanam and Kirtan, together will result in Smaranam, remembering about Krishna. So, Kirtitavya, Shrotavya, Kirtitavya, Smaratavya. When we remember Krishna in this way, then Echita Abhayam. Then no longer fear of birth and death will be there. So these wives of Brahmanas, they had their husbands, their fathers, their children, they stopped them. You can't go to Krishna. But without any fear, they were able to overcome all the obstacles. Why? Because they were fixed in hearing of Krishna's pastimes. Therefore, Krishna here says, yes, how is all this possible? All this is possible when we constantly are hearing Krishna's pastime. How will we be able to give our hearts to Krishna? We can only give our hearts to Krishna when we hear about Krishna, how beautiful his form is, how he is bent from 3 bodily parts, 3 bhangi, how he plays flutes, how he attracts everyone. Rukmani Devi says that just by hearing about you, my mind has become attached to you. Rukmani Devi never saw Krishna, but she only heard about him. In Bhagavatam, when she writes the love letter to Krishna, a love letter of 7 stanzas, in the first stanza she says, Shrutva gunan bhuvanashrin sundara shenavatamte. That I've heard, O Krishna, that in all the 3 worlds, Bhuvana Sundara, you are the most beautiful person. Nirvishya karna vivarai haratangatapam. And the miseries of my heart have been destroyed by just hearing about this. Rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartha labham. One who sees you once, all their gain. No, they have gained everything in the world. Now, sometimes when a boy likes a girl, or a girl likes a boy, they say to each other that if only you are mine, then the whole world is mine. Of course, at the courtship stage, but after that. But in reality, Krishna is the only person. If somehow or the other he is ours, then the whole world is ours. Why? What's the first verse we learned? Please, someone sing. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha samrita. Yes, whole world is ours. Why? Because he is the creator of the whole world. From him, whole world is being maintained. So what can he not do for his devotees? He guarantees. Now he says to Durvasa Muni that Naham Atmanam Ashase Mat Bhaktai Sat Virguna. Without my devotees, I do not wish to enjoy my supreme opulence, my kingdom, my wealth. And how can I give up my devotees who have dedicated their lives to me? He says, Pranam Vittam Imam Param. Those devotees who have given their money, their prana, their lives. So here Krishna is saying that how devotees act? Machita Madgata Prana. So they give their lives and mind and hearts. Machita. Who will sing? Vijay.
Machita Madgata Prana.
Machita Madgata Prana.
Udayantah Parasparam.
Very nice. So the devotees give their hearts and minds to Krishna, but then the devotees are very compassionate as well. Bodhyantaha Parasparam. They lift other innocent persons and other devotees as well and take them along in the journey of Krishna consciousness. There is no envy, supposedly, in the devotee environment. No. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Radha Krishna bolo, sange chalo, hey mata bhi ka chai. that our business is begging. What? You chant the names of Radha and Krishna. Sangha chalo, and come with us. No one should be left behind. In material world, no. I want to be going there first and everyone should be left behind. But in Krishna consciousness, there is competition. But what competition? Of lifting everyone. Not condemning everyone. Lifting everyone. And Krishna becomes pleased by that. If we are for ourselves, that does not please Krishna. Bodhayantaha parasparam. Parasparam means with two or more. So with two or more devotees, this is how we engage. How? Kathayantascha mam nityam. Yes, this line. Less line. Mataji, want to try? Kathayantascha mam nityam. 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 What does that mean? Janya, what does it mean? Let us. Yes, Janya.
Devotees derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another.
And talking about?
And impressing about.
Yes, that's the main thing. Kathayantascha mam nityam means always conversing about Krishna. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Yes, we will sing.
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Everyone's a bit slow today.
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Have you eaten? Don't worry, it's nice prasadam Vrajalakshmi Mataji has made. Let's be enthused. Krishna consciousness means enthusiasm. Yes.
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Aarti Mataji. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. What does Tushyanti mean? Being satisfied and pleased. Prabhupada translates there pleased. And then in the translation, he writes great satisfaction. So these are synonym words. Tushyanti cha, ramanti cha. What does ramanti mean? Transcendental bliss. Enjoy, it translates, enjoy transcendental bliss. What real enjoyment is in the material world, actually people don't know. But in Krishna Katha, there is so much enjoyment. And this enjoyment, it cannot be described. It has to be felt. And therefore, the sages of Naimisharanya, they say there that Vayamna Triptin Mananam, that we are not satiated. Means you can go on hearing Krishna Katha, because perpetually you are feeling satisfaction on one hand, but that satisfaction increases. How can satisfaction increase? But in Krishna Katha, satisfaction increases in bliss. And that bliss is always increasing. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Vardhanam means it is perpetually increasing. In material world, we get some satisfaction, it has a limit. But in spiritual world, it is Ramanti, Ananda Ambudhi. Ambudhi means ocean. Ocean in material world is fixed. But ocean in spiritual world is Vardhanam. Vardhanam means it's ever increasing. So imagine just diving in the waters of nectar of the spiritual bliss, which is ever increasing, centered around Krishna Katha. Who will recite the whole verse? Right. Praveen Prabhu. Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Very nice. Which Nisarg. Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Yes, Vijay Prabhu. After that, Janya.
Machita Madgata Prana
Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Your pronunciation is really good. Susan Mathur, will you try? Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Nice. Who else? Nilamamati. Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Just read Prabhupada paper and discuss. Pure devotees whose characteristics are mentioned here engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described in this list specifically. The devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives an analogy that, when a young boy is in so-called love with a young girl, then the young boy cannot help but always talk about the girl to his friends and so forth. So similarly, a devotee who is always in loving service with Krishna and who has given his heart and mind to Krishna, they cannot help but always talk about Krishna. What can you talk about always, if you really think about it? Say, we meet outside, and what can you talk about without any reservation? Thing that you like the most, isn't it? You don't have to think about it. Things which you are attached to, things which you like, you can just unreservedly and excitedly just talk about it. So similarly, the devotees of Krishna who are Madchitta, given their hearts and minds to Krishna, Madgata Prana, given their life to Krishna, dedicated their life to Krishna, they can unreservedly just keep on talking about Krishna. I know my aunt, she's 88 years of age, and when we meet her, then when mundane subject matters are discussed in her presence, she just withdraws. Just spontaneously, it's not like. But then, when Krishna's discussion of Krishna subject matter starts, then she just becomes straight, and there is her eyes become wide and she becomes brightened, and then she starts speaking about Krishna. On Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada says this. In Srimad Bhagavatam, this verse is there. This is how Krishna's pastime is. And you can see that without any reservation, these kind of devotees can keep on talking about Krishna. So this is a symptom. This cannot be faked. A devotee who is always talking about Krishna, they cannot be faked for a long time. They can keep going, talking about Krishna, because that is their life and soul. Prabhupada continues, in the preliminary stage of devotional service, they release the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. And in the mature stage, they are actually situated in the love of God. So service is also very important. At the preliminary stage, the service is there. But as we grow old, we may not be physically be able to do the service. But if really we have done the service in right consciousness, then our mind will serve Krishna by remembrance, and our speech will serve Krishna through glorification of Krishna. Once situated in that transcendental position, they can realize the highest perfection which is exhibited by the Lord in His abode. So within this life itself, just imagine, highest perfection can be exhibited. Lord Chaitanya likens transcendental devotional service to the sowing of a seed in the heart of the living entity. There are innumerable living entities traveling throughout the different planets of the universe, and out of them, there are few who are fortunate enough to meet a pure devotee and get a chance to understand devotional service. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita it said, Brahmanda Brahmite Bhagyaman Kauna Jiva. who is that fortunate soul wandering throughout the universe? Guru Krishna Prashadapaya Bhakti Lata Bij, one who gets the mercy of Krishna. What is mercy of Krishna? Mercy of Krishna is Guru. And what is mercy of Guru? Mercy of Guru is Krishna. Krishna gives Guru and Guru gives Krishna. And what does Guru do? Bhakti Lata Bij. He plants the seed of Bhakti, the Kripa of Bhakti, the seed of Kripa of Bhakti in our heart. This devotional service is just like a seed, and if it is sown in the heart of the living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, the seed fructifies, just as the seed of the tree fructifies with regular watering. So this hearing and chanting of Krishna's name, Kathayantascha Mam Nityam, is like watering the seed of bhakti in our hearts. The spiritual plant of devotional service gradually grows and grows until it penetrates the covering of the material universe and enters into the Brahma Jyoti effulgence in the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky also the plant grows more and more until it reaches the highest planet, which is called Golok Vrindavan, and the supreme climate of Krishna. Ultimately the plant takes shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna and rests there. Gradually, as the plant grows fruits and flowers, that plant of devotional service also produces fruits, and the watering process in form of chanting and hearing goes on. So it is not that chanting, hearing and reading stops. No, the Bhakti Lata Kripa is in need of constant watering. And like the eating of food stuff is always required for us, similarly, the food for the soul is hearing and chanting about Krishna. That is always a need. But rather than one who is in helpless condition, like when you are starving in helpless condition, but chanting and hearing is a pleasurable activity. It is not an activity of suffering. It is a pleasurable activity. And that's why Krishna says, what does he say in the last line? Tushyanti charamanti cha, Tushyanti charamanti cha. Let's complete the paper. One becomes fully absorbed in love of God, then he cannot live even for a moment without being in contact with the Supreme Lord, just as fish cannot live without water. In such a state, the devotee actually attains the transcendental qualities in contact with the Supreme Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narrations about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees, as stated in Bhagavatam itself. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Malam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. In this narration, there is nothing about the material activities, economic development, sense gratification or liberation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotees is fully described. Thus, the realized souls in Krishna consciousness take continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literatures, just as young boy and girl take pleasure in association. So more pleasure than that is experienced in Krishna consciousness than the pleasure even the young boy and the girl experience in each other's association. Actually, it's not comparable. But because we don't know what love for Krishna is, how much pleasure it gives, this analogy is just given just so that our puny minds can have some understanding of the kind of pleasure one is talking about. The pleasure of Krishna consciousness cannot be compared to anything material. Any questions or comments? So please, next week is Gita Jayanti, starting 1 o'clock. Is our offering to Krishna. Let's memorize the next 2 verses as well on our own time. So at least these 4 seed verses of Bhagavad Gita we can offer to Krishna on Gita Jayanti. Not just by looking at the book. The whole 18 chapters we'll be reciting looking at the book. But at least these 4 verses we can make a heartfelt offering to Krishna and pray to Krishna. Krishna, please give us your devotional service, and please give us intelligence, and please give us your mercy, by which we can always remember you. Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishad ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Announcements.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Like Prabhuji said, we have Gita Jayanti on 30th, which is next Sunday. Yeah. So it will start around 1 p.m. Yeah, and then we'll recite all the 700 verses, chapter 18 chapters. So we have a lot of like 18 people who have volunteered, and they'll lead the recitation. For all those chapters. And then we'll have a break in between, 15 minutes after the chapter 9. And then we'll continue with the remaining chapters after that. And then of course after all the chapters are done, we'll have the arati and then prasad. Also it's, last year, whoever was there, it's just a great experience, very mesmerizing. So, I would request everyone to join in. And of course, with the lead reciter, we all can participate in the recitation. So it's great, to do that. Also, this is a very auspicious, time. If you would like to donate Bhagavad Gita to your friends, or if you want to sponsor some Bhagavad Gitas for the temple team to distribute, we can do that as well. Normally we have like one Bhagavad Gita for $15, but we are giving a discount. Like if you get 6 Bhagavad Gitas, it's like $12 each, which is $72, and then one box of 12 Bhagavad Gita is $144. So if you want to sponsor, or if you want to take some books home to distribute yourself, this is a great opportunity. Very auspicious. So please, let me know. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Shri Shatagiri Govardhan Dhari ki.